What to Do When Your Dream is Crushed. Written by Christina Curtin, November 25th, 2019. As kids, we all at one point develop some dream of what we want to do when we grow up. Whether it be a firefighter, doctor, veterinarian, ballerina, singer, or photographer, whatever it is, our minds don't see limits. We can do anything. But then, at some point, the world pushes us to be more practical. How will you make a living? You'll have to be really good to make it in that profession. That's going to be a really expensive college bill. The world pushes its limits on us, and despite our passion and insistence that we can be whatever we want, a lot of us get crushed into the mediocre and settling for the practical job and not the one we had a passion for. My dream? I wanted to be a writer. As a child, books became somewhat of an outlet for me. I didn't have the best home life, with parents that really weren't equipped to handle my a spirit like mine. My father was an abusive alcoholic, and my mother suffered from bipolar disorder. Together, they didn't make the strongest parental pair. As an adult, I fully understand this, but as a child, I did not. Books gave me an escape. They gave me an exciting world and characters that I could pretend to live in instead of the world I was given. Books fed my mind and lit a spark of desire to create through words, to explain my feelings when verbal communication was just failing, to tell stories. I also have to give credit to Pizza Hut's Book It program. My love of free stuff, coupled with my love of food, made this combination wickedly powerful. I read so many books to fill out my Book It buttons so I could get countless free personal pan pizzas. All it took was 5 books. I could do that in a few days. Though this program fueled my imagination, it also fueled my obesity. But that's another story. Middle school sucked balls for me like it does pretty much everyone. But in middle school, and even in elementary school, I received ample encouragement from my teachers. They loved my writing and said I should pursue my dream. But 9th grade changed everything. Looking back, I can't recall the exact words that my teacher said after I turned in a creative writing essay, but the message still swirls in my brain. You need to figure out something else that you want to do with your life because you won't be a successful writer. I remember being crushed. I remember being so confused. Like those singers on American Idol who thought for their entire lives that they had an amazing singing voice, only to be shut down in front of the judges and told that they really sounded like a fork grazing across your dinner plate. How could I have been steered so wrong? Why was I now just being told this wasn't for me? Why is this the only teacher to ever tell me the truth? I never thought to myself that the teacher was wrong. I don't know why. I took that criticism and let it sit in my heart. I let those words crush a dream, and eventually I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I drifted, thought loosely about other careers, took quizzes. Nothing really felt right or fulfilling. Not to say that I didn't still write. I had to for school, and I enjoyed it. I got A's. But I never thought those grades meant validation that I had any potential. I even self-published a children's book a few years ago, but I still didn't feel like I was qualified. Looking back, I get slightly angry that I let a teacher tell me what I could or could not do. I'm disappointed that I didn't have parents to cheer me on and support my passion. I get angry at myself for being so weak. This pains me to say it, but I need to thank my husband, Vince. This is hard to do because he's a dick and loves it when he's right. So I really cringe inside to give him credit. He's tried through the years to get me to get up at 5 a.m. and to read self-development books about the power of positive thinking and all that bullshit. I always refused. First off, I was a night owl, not a morning person. I thought I needed to stay up late to get anything done and unwind after the kids finally went to bed. When, in reality, all I did in those late hours was binge watch TV shows and drink wine by myself. Second, I thought the only people that read self-development books were people that either needed serious help or were just freaking weird. But eventually I bent. I started getting up early. It sucked. But good Lord, there is a lot of time in the day. The hours of 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. before the kids get up for school are so quiet. It's like you are the only one in the world awake. It's motivating after you get past the sheer hell of dragging yourself out of bed before the birds even start singing. But what really changed me were the books I started to read. Again, thanks to Vince. Those stupid self development books that I always used to make fun of actually aren't that stupid. Books like 168 Hours. Reading this made me realize that I fell victim to the excuse that I don't have time for everything, when in reality, I do. I was just finding excuses and not making the right things a priority. I was cleaning my house on the weekends instead of using that time for my kids. Now I finally hired a cleaning person. My time is worth it. I was letting technology babysit while I exercised instead of getting up early to get it done before they woke up. Society is constantly telling moms that we are frazzled and overworked. But why is that? It's because we aren't spending our time right. Trust me, read the book. Sure, it's tedious at times, but the overall point was strong. You have 168 hours every week. What are you doing with them? And then books like Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil, both by Napoleon Hill. That guy was insane. These books alone were two hard kicks to my ass. They made me want to think positive, think specific, and most importantly, these two books led me to create this blog. I realized I let the negative thoughts in the world dampen my spirit. That passion I had as a child to write, I let negativity win. I let myself become complacent. If you want something, you need to really want it. And I wanted to write. So I said, fuck it, and I decided to start a blog. This blog is my creation, start to finish, which you can probably tell by the design because I have limited skills in that area. I tried. The logo is weak and the layout needs work, but it's the shell for the meat right now. The meat is my words, and my main love is writing, not web design. I love to type as my mind thinks and to see stories unfold, to share my inner thoughts, to unload and unpack the things from my life. So 5 things I have learned. Your dreams are yours. The only way they can be crushed is if you let them. People have their opinions, but if you want something, don't let anyone's negativity stop you. Number 2, you have time in your day for anything that is important to you. Don't make excuses. Make it happen. Number 3, just because you are a night owl doesn't mean you have to stay a night owl. Getting up at 5 a.m. isn't killing me. It's actually giving me time to write and get things done before the world gets up with all its distractions. I don't need to unwind until 12:30 a.m. because I spent my day using the time I had to do what I wanted. Number 4, my kids are dreaming now. They are coming up with plans for their lives of things they want to do. And sure, their dreams sound far-fetched and unachievable, but my job as their parent isn't to crush their spirits and tell them their limits. It's my job to fuel their dreams. Give them hope of whatever their mind can envision for them can happen. They just have to want it enough. And lastly, number 5, I am not the best writer in the world, but I love doing it. I'm making 0 money so far, so I guess my teacher was right in that I would not be considered successful in that way. But I am filling a hole that was made years ago. I am giving myself therapy. I am sharing funny stories and crazy things about me and my family. I am creating a legacy for my kids that they can read and be embarrassed over for the rest of their lives. So in all those ways, I consider myself a success.